Thank you for listening to the Solanos Stories, a companion to the Smithsonian's traveling exhibit, Crossroads, Change in Rural America, presented in downtown Trinidad, Colorado. Solanos Story salutes the farmers, ranchers, cowboys, and cattlemen who helped shape the Southwest, and their trusty hats. Me and My Pard, a salute to Harvey Hank Brooks, written by The Hat. The man that I worked with and is my best friend was born in Vernon, Texas, where his dad cowboyed and his grandpa before him on the Wagner and Bridwell ranches. I came to meet him in 1981 in Denton, Texas, where he worked on the Rex Cobble Ranch breaking horses and working cattle. Harvey was occasionally but affectionately called Hank by his wife of 20 years, Cindy. Hank met Cindy about the time we started as pards. I watched them raise 3 boys, Kevin, Lee, and Clay, to grow up to be fine men. There were good times and there were hard times, but we survived and became better and stronger over the years. We've worked on cattle ranches, horse ranches, and feedlots from the Circle T Ranch, Meeks Cattle Company, Mox Ranches, Rawhide Ranch, Running Creek Ranch, and the Willis Ranch from Texas to Oklahoma to Colorado. Finally, in Colorado, he landed a manager position at the McConnell Ranch in Walsenburg. The ranch sits at the foothills just below the Waiatola Mountains. He always said someday me and him would run a place. He'd say we may not own it, but we'll have some say in what goes on. That's where I was retired when a new hat took my place. I needed the rest and relaxation and a place of dignity to be admired by cowboys and city folks alike. Solanos graciously offered me a place to rest, and that's how I ended up in the Cowboy Hat Hall of Fame. Hank and I rode lots of horses through the years, good ones and bad ones. I remember a time when I was young and Hank and I were breaking a colt. The colt went airborne and I came off, but Hank stayed on. The colt came down and stomped me, but good. I thought I was through, but Hank just smiled and picked me up, popped me back in shape, and I was as good as new. He always thought so much of me. I remember the time when Hank took me off and sat me by his side. Katie ran off with me, and Hank found me just in time. He saved me, and there's no doubt I would have been chewed on or something just as awful. I've saved Hank by jumping between him and angry cows when he'd be doctoring sick calves. I'd been there for pulling calves, foaling colts, and all kinds of work. If I come off and hit the ground, Hank would always pick me up, thank me, dust me off, and pop me back in shape. Then there were the cow dogs, Jake and Katie. They were the best, and what I called the yappers, Chance, Muffin, and Biscuit. I was there when Chance died, and later old Muffin, bless her heart. They were faithful friends, too. Old Biscuit, she's still around and fancies herself a cow dog right alongside Jake and Katie. Jake never cared, but Katie always let them know who was boss and kept them in their place. Lefty the black gelding and Buffy the buckskin mare were tried and true friends, too. They weathered the hot and cold, the blowing snow, and the muddy hills right alongside us. Hank always said it's all of us together that makes the cowboy, the 2-legged friends as well as the 4-legged ones. He loved us all. I was there when Hank lost his grandma, and later on after I retired, I heard Hank lost his grandpa. I know that was hard on Hank. At times like those, he'd walk outside at night and listen to the coyotes in the distance and the still of the night. I was always proud to be there. We've been through blizzards, hellacious hot days, and rain so hard I couldn't hardly stand up to it. I'd do it all again for my pard. Hank comes to visit me from time to time, and we reminisce about the old days. He's still at the McConnell Ranch working for Pat and Honey Lou, who gave us that chance to run a place. Hank and I always did the best we could. I was proud that we made it and that we were good at what we did. With God's help, we all made a team, and I'm proud to know I'll always be Hank's pard.